the system.
How you doing?
Getting beat up by 9 guys in Syracuse, to me, there's not a whole lot of shame in it.
This is the Heel to the Face podcast with your hosts, Jared Wicks and Brandon Icebreaker Clements. Tweet us using the handle at Heel to the Face.
Woo! 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 Woo!
The bell is rung, so let's step in the ring with your hosts, Brandon and Jared.
It is crazy, but we are less than 2 weeks away from WrestleMania 35 in New York City at MetLife Stadium. This is the penultimate show before the WrestleMania show, which we'll do next week. But either way, a very busy week in the world of professional wrestling. I'm joined, if you're watching us on YouTube, to my right with Brandon the Icebreaker Clements. You can find him on Twitter at Icebreaker21. Myself at KRock Jared on Twitter and Instagram. And most importantly, follow the show at Heel to the Face. We haven't posted too much in the last couple of weeks, but we'll obviously be putting all the links to this show. And make sure to stay tuned because we'll obviously have a WrestleMania special next week. But, well, that's next week. So without further ado, let's get this week's edition of the show underway.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening
With a 20-minute time limit.
So I can't remember a time that WWE, or at least WrestleMania, was put together this kind of last minute. And normally the Raws and the SmackDowns prior to WrestleMania are awful. Not because of the quality of the wrestling, just because there's no storylines. I mean, it's just get to the matches already. But we're still having things being said. Obviously, the Kofi Kingston thing was just finalized this week. Yes. Charlotte Flair becomes the new women's champion on SmackDown.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. That was weird. That was very weird. Weird timing. Like so what does this mean for Asuka? She'll
be in the Battle Royal.
I mean, what do you think the future is? Do you think she's going to be out of here soon?
I don't think there's no problem with the future. The problem, the reasoning for this is Vince McMahon didn't have any more time on the card for a women's championship match. So he wanted to make sure that, he put all his eggs in one basket and made it in the match. Now, I personally like it, not for that regard, but because of the fact that if this is the main event of WrestleMania, which they announced it will be, you might as well have all the top women. In my personal opinion, it's too late to do it now. It would seem too forced. But if this was their idea all along, then they should have just had Asuka in the match and made it a 4-way.
Yeah, fatal 4-way. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, that would be the way to do it. I mean, why have Asuka in any other way, shape, or form at this point? Put her in a singles match or like a match like a fatal 4-way.
She'll just be. Yeah, I mean, she's just going to be in the women's battle royal now because you have the tag match, this women's match, and the women's battle royal.
We've said this. We say this every year. Those battle royals are like, oh, we're just going to get everybody on the show. Like, oh, just to say you were on a WrestleMania card. That's really what it is.
And to me, it's funny because all the pay-per-views have these names. I remember Michael Cole always saying the Royal Rumble was like the NBA All-Star Game, and I didn't think it was like that at all because it's more like the NCAA tournament. It means something. The Royal Rumble is not an all-star game because an all-star game means nothing. It's more like a tournament. It's more like the playoffs. It's more like if WrestleMania is the Super Bowl, then the Royal Rumble is the playoffs. I mean, and people always say WrestleMania is the Super Bowl of wrestling. But I disagree with that statement because the Super Bowl is selective. The Super Bowl only has a finite amount of teams. I think WrestleMania, if it was going to be compared to a playoff, it would be closer to the NCAA tournament. And that's a very big playoff, the whole tournament, not just the Final Four. Because the Super Bowl of the NFL isn't everybody that's ever been in the NFL is at it. No, it's only 2 select teams who made it this far. WrestleMania is not like that. Everybody who is currently under contract has something to do at WrestleMania. I mean, that's why they have these battle royals.
Yeah, some way, shape, or form, they're getting on the card, even if it's 30 seconds.
Yeah.
They're in it.
So, that's why they say it's the Super Bowl of wrestling. If it was the Super Bowl of wrestling, it would be 4 matches. And it would be, if it was a Super Bowl of wrestling, it'd essentially be the Night of Champions pay-per-view, where it would just be 7 matches, 7 titles.
I wouldn't even do the titles. It would just be like the top guys and gals.
Yeah.
It'd be like,
it'd be Ronda versus Becky. Charlotte's not on the show this year. Sorry.
It'd be AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar. I don't know. I mean, Roman Reigns, something like that. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Roman wouldn't even be on the card because he came back late.
Sorry, Seth. Seth. We're going to take you out this year.
Yeah, if it was really the Super Bowl of wrestling, it'd be it'd be 5 matches.
To me,
and people like Roman Reigns who just came back, or people like Asuka who are not a championship holder, they wouldn't be on the card at all.
It's like the Daytona 500 for me. That's how I look at it, because Daytona 500, everybody's in it.
Yeah,
everybody's
in
it.
Or opening day, or the first week of the NFL season. Yeah, think of it.
Well, it's weird for WWE because WrestleMania signifies the end of a year, so to speak. The year ends for WWE on the end of the night. As soon as the fireworks, if there's good pyro, WrestleMania ends. The night goes. The show ends. The Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania is a brand new year. It's like a calendar flipped. We're in a new year.
Yes,
it's a new season, so to speak. And it's the start, and that's why it's weird, because for me, it's the end, but then we're starting something. It's Super Bowl. I guess this is the reason why they call it the Super Bowl. And
it's the biggest event.
It's the biggest event, but it's also the final game of that season. I get that. Just the perspective of it, where you're not getting, like, the Super Bowl has only the 2 teams.
Yeah,
you're not. The WrestleMania is you're putting everybody on the card, so it's a little funky. But to me, it's almost like to me like Daytona 500.
It's not necessarily always a new year either, because we always get rematches of tons of WrestleMania matches.
Yeah, but it signifies the start of a new season, though. If you think about it,
I know what it signifies, but you know what I mean. Like AJ versus Shinsuke last year at WrestleMania was one of 3.
Well, yeah, the rivalries. Some of those rivalries aren't going to change, but it's
the start of some of them. It's the first Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan before we're sick and tired of seeing it.
Well, here's the thing. You know me. We've talked about this on many, many occasions. We've been doing this show for 2 years now?
Yeah. More than that. 3.
Yeah. I was going to say, we've been doing it for a while.
Since WrestleMania, right before WrestleMania in Orlando, and now we're going on to WrestleMania. Yeah, so 2 years. 2 plus.
2 plus. Yeah, 2+ years. And pretty much every show or every other show, a lot of times in between, I have not liked the New Day. I like the New Day right now. I'm enjoying this. I like this because they're giving Kofi and Xavier and Big E, they're giving them a lot of. I think the creative's done a great job for these guys, because you had a gauntlet match last week, which we didn't have the show last week, but we had the gauntlet match for Kofi, which we kind of figured he was going to get screwed one way or the other, and then you had the gauntlet match with Woods and E. And I think it's been great. I mean, you get to showcase their skills, and I like what they did at the end of the show. I like that the whole roster came out and kind of give ovation and clap for Kofi, because Kofi's been around a long time, and I think it's his time. He's paid his dues. I think it's time for him to get the big title. Do I think he's going to get it? I mean, we'll get to that later. I'm not going to answer that question now, so you have to wait till next week. But it is cool to see him in the title picture at WrestleMania. It's something different. Usually he's like the mid card to he's in between the mid card and the main event. So it's cool to see where he is right now. Now I see you're pulling up on the if you're listening to us, we're pulling up on the website here. XFL. What are we looking at here?
Well, so the XFL it is and it's not a Twitter question of the week, but moving from WWE, XFL is WWE news. But reading that the AAF, as not to be surprised by anybody, having a little bit of trouble.
Yes, I did read. I did read it's not good right now.
Now here's a question: is Johnny Manziel in the AAF?
Yes, he is playing.
Yeah, I did see that the other day, and that shows you how low this league is. That I knew he was cut from the CFL. That was news. Mm-hmm. But him actually now being in the American Football League, American Football.
He plays for Memphis.
Yes, it seemed to go pretty under the table. It wasn't until I actually saw him on Twitter, like in a uniform, and I was like, "Hey, that was new."
I gotta say, I watched a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I got hyped for a little bit for the AAF, and I haven't watched much. I don't know. I've kind of tuned out. I mean, as soon as I heard Johnny Football was playing, I flipped it on for a couple series for watch him throw the ball around a little bit. Look good. I think he's got a chance. This might help him get back to the NFL.
So the Alliance of American Football is in trouble. Apparently, they're trying to reach a deal with the NFL to straight up be a minor league for the NFL. And if they don't reach that deal, apparently it looks like they're not going to sustain too much on their own. Apparently, they're looking to reach that deal because they've come to the end here of their own sustainability. Now they're reaching a hand out for some help. And,
the money.
So the question is this good or bad for the XFL?
Bad. I think it's bad.
Now, a mean, a lot of people would say it's good because you don't have competition, but it's bad because it just shows you what we know all along is that these leagues can't last.
No, and the unfortunate part is, they had a good, I think what happened was it was so good in the beginning, just like the XFL was, and then the ratings is just kind of down. It's just like they're just going down the hill. Right? Unfortunately, if it doesn't get the NFL backing, I think it's going to be doomed. I hate saying that because I was very excited up front. I'm not going to lie. I enjoyed the first week or two, and then I just kind of got bored with it. I forgot it was on. You know what I mean? I just kind of forgot. And then Johnny Manziel perked my ears up for a quick second. Literally just watched maybe a quarter and called it a day. It's unfortunate, but I think the NFLPA's got to help. I think in theory, it's a good thing, the AEF versus the NFL, because it's a developmental league.
Well, if they do,
they got to work together.
And if they do really make it a developmental league, then the question is that good for the XFL or is that bad for the XFL? That's probably bad because now that they got backing, now that they're going to be more sustainable.
Yeah, I think Vince,
the XFL really is a third league.
I feel bad for Bob Stoops because Bob Stoops was really putting all his chips on the table on this one, and I'll be honest with you, I was excited for the XFL, and now seeing how the AAF is doing, which had honestly, I would say arguably better players than what the XFL. XFL it's going to go like this: NFL, and then the scraps go to the AFL, and then the real bottom of the barrel scraps go to the XFL. So you're still going to have football, but how great of football is it going to be? Like D3 football at this point? You know what I mean? That's what I mean. Not to diss on it because I love football, but I think Vince should just pull the plug on it.
Well, I mean, it's a little too late. He's already sold all that WWE stock.
I know.
It's a little too late to do that. I mean, I think the smart idea would have never started to begin with.
Yes, I agree. 110%. I think Vince for once, well, I should say once, happened to him before, but bad move. I think
he's done it. It's more than the XFL. It's the World Bodybuilding Federation. It's
more than
WWE Films. He's put his hands in a lot of cookie jars.
He just needs to stick to wrestling. He's good at that. I mean, he's done a great job with that. I think at this stage, move on. AAF, I hope they get a bailout from the Players Association in the NFL. I hope they get some backing there. Otherwise, we're not going to see a year or two. I don't see it.
Moving on back to WWE, announced Hart Foundation is in the WWE Hall of Fame. I won't lie, personally. Now, seeing Bret Hart, that's great. And seeing Triple H, that's great. This, to me, is one of the classes. So I don't believe, for what I believe, I think I'll be the night before WrestleMania. I think I'm going to try to go to Madison Square Garden, go to the Ring of Honor New Japan Wrestling show, and not the Hall of Fame. That'll be the first time. I've went to the last 3 Hall of Fame ceremonies, the one in Dallas, Orlando, and New Orleans. And I personally enjoy them. A little bit long, but I like the it's nice. It's nice, especially if you bring a significant other, because it shows them the other side of wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan, it shows them that there is other elements of wrestling, that, it's not just about, drinking beer, monster trucks, and, the redneck stuff, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
It kind of classes it up. It gives the significant other, if you're going with one, a reason to dress up and kind of treat wrestling differently and kind of really amps up WrestleMania weekend to be more than just wrestling.
It's the typical award show.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. It's a typical award show. You get dressed up. It's almost like a senior ball. You're just kind of hanging out, bringing your significant other.
If you're a baseball player and your wife goes to all the baseball games, part of the reason why they like that you go to the All-Star game is not so they get to go to a game, but you get to go to, a charity function before, and you get to be with your husband, that kind of thing. You get to do something that's related to baseball and kind of branch out. So it's nice to do related to wrestling things, but branch out.
What's your take on the Hart Foundation? Is this a bad? It's not
so much that it's a bad. It's just the whole Hall of Fame to me. It's just not doing it for me this year. I mean, it's not. There's nothing in there that's making me go, oh, I wish I was going.
Let me ask you this. Not that WWE will ever admit this at all. They're never going to admit this. But would they have just thrown a crappy thing together knowing that they're not going to have that many people there anyways? I mean, at this point, why would you go pull all the stops out when you know you're probably not going to sell it out because there's going to be a big show at MSG?
Let me.
I mean, I'm not saying they're going to obviously concede that, obviously, but to me, I mean, yes, I love DX. I mean, why are we wasting DX on this year, especially with this card? I mean, I hate to say it, but the Ring of Honor Japan deal is going to be pretty good.
And to be honest with you, I mean, this Ring of Honor thing is definitely it's seen better days. I mean, obviously, it's not going to have the card that they imagined when they booked Madison Square Garden. It's not going to have Okada versus Omega, which was supposed to happen for the first time on American soil. Right now, I'm looking. Tickets are about average. I mean, it is New York. It's New York City. So I would actually say if this wasn't New York City, the tickets would probably be much lower. The cheapest ticket for the Hall of Fame right now, $26. On average, I paid about $20 to go to the Hall of Fame.
There are a lot of seats available. I'm looking at this map.
Every section's got seats available.
Yeah.
Lower level seats start at about $70. Okay, you buy a lower level seat between 60 and I think that's because of New York City, and I think again it's going to go down. So when I went to Dallas, I sat in the upper deck. I paid $13 and I sat in the upper deck at the arena in Dallas to watch the Hall of Fame. That was when Sting went in.
Yes.
But the last 2 years, Orlando and New Orleans, I sat lower level for both of those, getting better tickets each year. Last year, I was sitting pretty much where 50-yard line, like where they set the ring up. Obviously, it's not where the stage is, but it's 50, and it was like row 3.
Good seats.
Yeah.
Not bad. You got a good vantage point.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, it kind of reminded me of a concert because they have a stage and like floor seating and stuff. I had better seats than some of the floor seats that were in the back because if you're in the back on the floor, I have an elevated view.
Yeah, they don't.
But I wasn't highly elevated. I was like in row 3. And again, I was where the ring is set up, so I was probably one section from the stage.
So on the same night as the New Japan Ring of Honor, do you have tickets already?
I don't have tickets for any of this stuff. So that's why I said it's most likely I'm not going to the Hall of Fame.
But if you can't get a good ticket, you're going to go to the Hall of Fame, right?
I'm going to go to something.
So Hall of Fame is definitely like the last resort at this point.
Yeah.
On that night.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to try to go to the New Japan Wrestling, the Ring of Honor.
I wonder what kind of tickets there are right now for that. The prices, I'm curious, especially on the third party secondary market. I'm curious to see how that turns out. I mean,
think
the card's
these tickets
good,
these tickets. These tickets that are so the cheapest ticket for the show on Saturday night, if we can pull it up, match for $27.
Yeah.
So they're running even right now.
Wow, you
with
can
each other.
Look, let's see lower level on those. We're for the
still
folks
in the hundreds.
listening and not seeing, they can't see anything anyways. But we're just looking at
lower level
stuff
for the Ring of Honor show right now. 60 for like a bad vantage point.
So you can get So if you go center, let's go 107 there.
Yeah, $160.
Whew.
But I mean, again, these are prices that won't be there at the day of the show.
Go to 211, $50. You're sitting up higher, but you got a good vantage point.
Yeah, I mean, so
that's not a bad spot.
Yeah,
$50.
Well, I mean, I probably won't, but then again, these are in advance. I mean, the day of the show,
you might be able to get a lower level for close to that
$50.
price.
Yeah. I mean, so right now they're running about even price wise, both the Hall of Fame and the Ring of Honor show.
Man, at that point, I just go to this wrestling show.
Yeah.
As much as I like the acts, I mean, I want to see some wrestling.
I mean, I normally like to see,
but I mean, here's the thing:
the other stuff.
Yeah, because you want to break up your weekend a little.
Yeah,
bit.
last year
wrestling.
Last year I went to the Hall of Fame, then went to wrestling, and then went to on Saturday. So I did get to go to both Ring of Honor, and I kind of wish it was Friday night because then I'd go to the Ring of Honor. I'm with the NXT prices starting at $120. Much different.
Wait, no, they're not.
Yeah, $120 for the cheapest NXT price right now.
Wow,
and
that's
again,
a hot ticket.
I'm not seeing anything too grand from this year's takeover so far. Feels kind of pieced together with Tommaso Ciampa out an injury.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but
Aleister Black and Ricochet looking like they're going to be on the WrestleMania card.
It's a hot ticket though. NXT's a hot ticket still, no matter.
$27 they paid for the takeover in Royal Rumble, or $25. Sorry,
I would have taken that card in a heartbeat over this one.
The one in Phoenix?
Yeah.
With Aleister Black and Tommaso Ciampa as a championship?
Yeah, that's a hell of a card.
Yeah.
Honestly,
and Gargano versus who do you fight for the North American title?
I'll be honest. At this point, I got to look at the card because I don't know the card off the top of my head right now for NXT, but it's still going to be good, but it's not going to be Royal Rumble in Arizona good.
Well, no, again, all these prices are because of New York City. So when we look at this $27 ticket for the Hall of Fame, that's only because it's New York City. That would be $15 if it wasn't New York City.
Yeah, if it was in Syracuse, New York, it'd be like $12.
If that was in Orlando, that'd be a $15 ticket at the Amway Arena down there, at the Amway Center, whatever they call it. So, everything's amped up. That's kind of why I don't have my WrestleMania tickets yet, because they're just so expensive that I can't just get my hands on $100 tickets.
Oh, you didn't even have a WrestleMania ticket?
I don't even have a WrestleMania ticket.
So you're going down with you're a man without a plan at this point.
And here's and think about this, and think about if this is a straight up dumb idea. Now I'm most likely going to go into the event, but I was actually thinking about doing this. Now this is kind of crazy. So WrestleMania is outdoors this year, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So all the fireworks, all the pyro, you're going to see it if you're in the parking lot. Bring a TV, tailgate the WrestleMania. You get the park pretty close because I go to Giants games pretty often.
So you're going to watch it in the parking lot.
I mean, I think people do that for football, right? How many people you think go to the Super Bowl and just tailgate and watch it outside and don't even go in?
Just to get up, just to say they were at the event, so to speak, or
You
there.
pay the $20 to park. You're in the lot. You tailgate before the show. Then when the show starts, you bring a 40-inch TV. You plug it in. You hook up your internet connection. You watch it because again, this is back. The last time I went to New York City, it was on pay-per-view. There was no options. Believe me, I didn't have tickets until about an hour before the show last time I was in New York City. So if this was the option, I might have watched it in the parking lot. So now we can watch it anywhere we want. I can sit in the parking lot. When fireworks go off, when the pyro goes off to end the show, to start the show, I'm seeing it just like everybody else.
And you're probably gonna have a better vantage point too.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Seriously.
I'm seeing everything. I'm gonna hear everyone's entrance music.
Yeah. I mean, but with your car, you can't put a 40-inch right there, can you?
I mean, you put down you open up the trunk, you throw it in the trunk, you get some lawn chairs out. I'm not saying I put it on the dashboard.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that. You just gotta bring your internet with you.
Yeah, I mean, well, we all got phones that have internet connections. You know what I mean?
You don't use your gigs. Whew, it's a 5-hour show. That's a
Well,
lot of,
I mean, if you got
that's a lot of
unlimited, most
gigs.
people got unlimited.
If you got
Who
unlimited,
knows? Maybe
then
I'll be
you're
close enough to just hop onto the MetLife Wi-Fi.
good. Imagine that. Just pick up the Wi-Fi and just go.
Yeah, I mean,
That's awesome.
how many people do you think do this for NFL games? There are so many times.
Probably a bunch.
I've been to enough NFL games where I see people when I'm leaving the stadium who have the tailgate like they never put it away. Like they have a fire going. I've seen in Giant Stadium, especially, they have fire pits. And these people are sitting on lawn chairs with fires going. They didn't just get these things going. And it's the end of the game. Who's doing this at the end? These people never went in. These people have been outside the whole time.
They got a TV right there.
Yeah, and they have TVs.
They're just watching it on. They just watched it on TV at a bonfire at the parking lot.
Yeah.
People. I mean, Bills
to be-
fans probably do it too. Bills
I
fans are
mean,
nuts.
everyone probably does it. I mean, I always thought about that with the Super Bowl. If I ever won tickets to the Super Bowl and like an all expense paid trip to the Super Bowl, unless my team was in it, I would go down there. I would tailgate. I would use and then I would sell those tickets because that's $5,000 easy. 2 tickets to the Super Bowl, that's $5,000.
Go in the parking lot.
And just maybe go to the bar next door
Yeah.
and just hang out. So hang out with everybody down at the Fan Fest before it gets going. And then when the actual game starts, go to the bar, watch the game. I mean, $5,000 is going to take you a long ways at that bar. And then when the game's over, head out to the street, celebrate with all the people who are leaving, throwing the confetti in the air, hanging out. And is it really worth $5,000 to go through the turnstile? That obviously WrestleMania is not $5,000. But I'm saying, is it really going to be worth? Let's say
ringside.
Let's say yes, but I'm saying, is it going to be worth $500 essentially for a pair of tickets for me to go on the inside part versus the outside part? Is that worth $500?
Depends where your vantage point is.
I'm probably that would be upper deck seats probably.
Yeah, it's expensive.
So the cheapest ticket right now looks like about $250.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Is
of
it
money.
worth $250 to watch it from inside than outside?
I'd rather watch it on the outside for a lot less cheddar.
And then when it's over with, man, I can pop that TV up and I'm the first one out of the parking lot.
True. That is true. I got to ask you. Speaking of New York City, so what did you make of Elias? Yeah, what's going on there?
I hope he does something like that closer to WrestleMania. I thought it was kind of weird because he's doing it on Raw. It seems like something he'd want to do WrestleMania night, like live in Times Square. Again, I think he's just going to put on a nice show. Again, WrestleMania. We always say this. We have these big expectations. I don't see them doing a lot with Elias. He's going to have a cool concert. He might have someone interrupt the concert, some big name New York City athlete or something. You know what I mean? Some New York Yankee or something. But
yeah, right.
Other than that, again,
they probably will. They'll have. I mean, I would say Odell Beckham, but now he's in Cleveland. So maybe Saquon Barkley. That'd be kind of cool.
Nah, is he really kind of a flamboyant guy?
I don't know.
This would be definitely the time for Rob Gronkowski to show up.
Well, yeah, it's not in Boston, so.
Oh, that's true, but I mean, he is now retired. I mean, he's got really nothing holding him back to be at this WrestleMania.
Yeah, but you want to get a good pop. You're gonna if Gronkowski's, they're gonna boo him just because he played for the Patriots.
Yeah,
that's the thing. That's enemy territory. So you want to get somebody, probably a Yankee, maybe that.
Yeah.
Maybe you could have a former Yankee like Alex Rodriguez or something, or Derek Jeter. Well, maybe.
I think they're a little too high caliber to be at WrestleMania. I mean, look at the level of celebrity. They got Colin Jost and Michael Che and Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's ridiculous right there. They got these two guys in the Battle Royal. If you haven't heard that.
So you'd get like, I don't know, maybe
Aaron Judge.
Yeah. Aaron Judge, I don't know if he's a wrestling fan. He might be.
Well, either way, you pay him enough money.
He'll come and say, hey, say hi for a few bucks.
Everybody's a wrestling fan, it seems like. I think that's the big thing. Everyone is a wrestling fan when you pay them money and you get them to be a part of the show. Rock stars all want to be athletes. Athletes all want to be rock stars. That's why the championship belt goes to whoever wins the championship, because they're all Athletes want to be wrestlers. Wrestlers want to be athletes. The guys in the WWE want to be in the NFL. The guys in the NFL want to be in WWE.
I mean, look at David Arquette back in the day. So
everybody wants to be doing whatever they're not doing. You know what I mean? That's why they get the championship belt, because the baseball players wish they were in WWE and the WWE guys wish they were in baseball.
Last take I want to take before we end. What are your thoughts on Dean Ambrose at this point? I mean, he looks like a jobber right now.
I think he might have wrestled his last match on Monday night against Drew McIntyre.
You think he's out? You think he's out now?
From what I'm hearing, it looks like that could be his last match. I mean, I don't see anything else for him, and I think they're trying to just send him on his way.
You think he's
I think
done?
he truly is out. That's from what everyone. That's from the best sources are saying.
It's not a work.
He wrestled his last match. We might not see him on Raw this Monday night. Now, if we see him on Raw this Monday night and I'm wrong, then I don't think he might be done. But if he's not on Raw this Monday night, that shows
He's going to AEW.
I don't necessarily think he's doing that. I
think he's going to AEW.
Well,
why not? It's wrestling. It's something different. Unless he totally wants to get out of the wrestling game, which I highly doubt. He's still high caliber. He's still in his prime of his career. I hope he does something where we all know, like maybe he changes his mind, like he quote unquote changes his mind at WrestleMania, and then attacks Seth Rollins or something and screws him. Maybe something like that.
Well, I mean, there's lots of chances for screw jobs. The New Day, obviously.
Yeah, I know.
Bray Wyatt, maybe he's gonna make an appearance.
I mean, imagine the New Day. Imagine Big E and Xavier Woods screwing Kofi. Kofi's like gonna win, and then something happens. That would be kind of cool.
What was Daniel Bryan saying? We could pull up some guys from NXT and just repackage as the New Day. What did he call them? Like
midnight or midnight? It was like mid afternoon or
mid-afternoon.
something like that. That was pretty good off the cuff. Yeah. That was pretty good. I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, we got one next week. We'll have our show, and then
WrestleMania special.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Make sure you tune in next week.
So that's gonna do it for this week's edition of the show. We'll have a WrestleMania special all by itself. Make sure to find that on YouTube, and make sure to follow us now on SoundCloud as well, and follow us most importantly on Heel to the Face, because that's where you'll find us on Twitter. All our links to the show. WrestleMania weekend, I'll be down in New York City. I'm going to post as much stuff as I can while I'm down there, and it's hard to believe we're just a few days away from WrestleMania. We'll see you next week, the go-home shows and our WrestleMania build-up. Till then, Icebreaker21 and myself at KRockJared on Twitter. Peace.